We're back. The time is now.
Well, hello. We have got some background noise coming through, and I think that's being sorted as we speak. Welcome, one and all, NUFC Talk TV. Myself, we've got the Mighty Win, the Geordie Yam Yam, we've got Jamie, and we've got Jamie.
We've got two Jamies, double Jamie.
It's going to be fun tonight. Obviously, we have our Jamie, which everybody knows, who writes in the mag now and again, and we've got Jamie from the Reds. Jamie, introduce yourself, mate, before I get into the housework.
Yeah, Jamie Phillips from Jamie Phillips Football Chat. How are we all doing? We're good.
Very well, mate.
Really
Very good.
Really good.
You don't sound like a Scouser, Jay.
No, my dad's from that part of the world, but he came down south 40 odd years ago, met my mum, and bang, there I am.
That was it. It was done.
Literally bang there, you are.
Yeah. Is that pardon the pun?
Yeah. I had no choice that way. I had no choice.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough, my friend. That's fair enough. So welcome along. As you well know, in with all the rivalry and everything else, there's probably going to be some stuff in the chat. Again, we as a club and as a network and everything else, we don't mind a bit of banter. But can we keep it friendly? It's like I said before, we've had some absolute idiots in the chat, and like I said, it doesn't matter for us. It doesn't matter what colour you wear regarding a team you support. And again, we've all got big shoulders, and we don't mind the friendly banter. But please, mods, please keep it friendly within the chat. If you see anything that's not nice, can you block it, please? So, without further ado, let's crack on with tonight's show. So again, welcome to everybody watching across all of the platforms. Thanks to everybody in the background that works tirelessly without really being noticed. They do a great job. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy the show. It just helps us get further as a channel. And like I say, for the last couple of weeks, we've had lots of Reds on the channel and we've had some great chats. So again, I'm hoping Jamie as well can provide us with some insight in what's going on at Liverpool. Subscribe, it's totally free. Hit the bell for future content. If you want to support us and help us grow, you become a member of for a small monthly fee. There's different levels to choose from. You choose whichever one you want. It just helps us, like I say, grow a little bit more. If you've got a question for anybody in the panel, then you can put a Q in front of that question. Like I said, just lately, the chat has been going mad. We just can't keep up with it. So if you put a Q in front of it, it just helps us highlight it. But that ain't guaranteed to be aired. So if you want to guarantee it, then send us a Talk TV super chat. Follow the $, follow the instructions. That will guarantee your chat mentioned. So apologies if we don't get to everybody. And obviously, if you want to come on board with our prediction league, it's £5 entry fee. You've only missed one game. There's lots of people that haven't got.
Two current joint leaders are sitting here.
Yes, here we go. Great minds think alike, me and Jamie. If you want to come on board.
We went for a big scoring opener, didn't we? A bit of a
0-0. Yeah, exactly. If you want to jump on board, like I say, you ain't far behind. You can still do it. You can still catch up. We had guys after half a dozen games last season, literally finished in the top 5 or 6. So, like I say, you can jump on board whenever you want. Top 6 get a prize. 4th and below get a nice bonus prize, if you like. But it is more than the registration fee, so it's as simple as that. All you've got to do before the kickoff is predict the scoreline. So, gentlemen, obviously we've seen lots and lots of news reports coming in, a lot of it BS, as I thought, with lots of reports saying that we are 5 million short from Strand Larsen. And obviously that's been poo-pooed. There is actually no bid whatsoever gone in. So it looks very unlikely that we will get a striker into the mix until, for Monday's game against Liverpool. Yeah. £1 from the Liverbird. Thank you ever so much.
$1 from the Liverbird.
Well, it's $1. Yeah, sorry. And that seems to be our our pickle at the minute, doesn't it? We seem very much light when it comes to strike force. Well, we've got strikers, unfortunately, just
They're on
striking in
strike.
a different way. He's just striking on a different format. So yeah, it is a crazy situation that we find ourselves. Nice to hear from your thoughts, Jamie, with the current situation that everybody finds themselves. Obviously, we've got Isak on our side wanting away to the Liverbird. And at the end of the day, I don't mind, him wanting to try and better himself if he feels that's what he needs to do. I just don't like the actions that he's taken to do so. What's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, look, I don't like his actions either. I've made that publicly clear before in my end as well. When players act like this, it's not a good look. I don't like it when also clubs do it to players as well. When a club decides they don't want to play no more and they can't get rid of them and they just stick in the reserves and make them train with the kids and let them rot. So it can work both ways.
But they still pay his wages.
Yeah, they still pay his wages, obviously. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like it works.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like it either way. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend. Like, I'm a hypocrite because I'm a football fan. I think we're all hypocrites at football fans sometimes because it's our clubs. So when it's our club, everything's perfect and everyone else is arseholes. Do you know what I mean? That's sometimes the way I look at things like this. So, yeah, he's acting like an arsehole, but I want him. Do you know what I mean? But if my player was acting like an arsehole, I'd have to admit he's acting like an arsehole. Do you know what I'm saying? And someone else would.
Yeah.
So I think in this circumstance, like as football fans, we can all be hypocrites like that. But I'm not going to. But as I say it many times, I don't like the way Alexander Isak's going about things. Obviously, the statement the other day, yesterday, and all that, and that's kind of crazy. And I can't remember the last time a player put out a statement quite like that, and then the club quite quickly rebutting that statement, and it's absolutely, look, it's the finest drama that a TV show could write. Do you know what I mean? That is going on in front of our eyes right now. But as I say, look, I want the player because I'm a Liverpool fan, so I want that player. The way he's going about things, though, I'm not going to sit here and like a lot of Liverpool fans are going, well, if he does go to Liverpool, what if he acts like that in 3 years' time? And I'm like, he probably will. He might do. But if he's won me a Premier League and a Champions League, okay, is it the end of the world? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, we've seen, over time now, there's been a number of players that have done obviously something very similar. We've all seen the likes of Suarez doing a very similar ilk. Saying he'd never put a Liverpool
Torres.
Shirt on again. Yeah, exactly.
Nino,
Exactly. There's so many now, and again, I was saying in today's show, there has to be something that the PFA can do to try and protect the clubs, the parental clubs that they're with. It's different for a lot of clubs like yourself who have got depth in numbers. We are still on the catch-up side of things, and we have literally just improved our bench. And I mean, that's how bad it is. We seem to be some way away from being involved in the top six when it comes to depth of squad. And I think having one player, and it doesn't sound a lot, that isn't involved in your everyday working of a team, of a unit, it can create such a buzz. And at this present moment in time, it doesn't matter what business Newcastle have done behind the scenes, which has been really good business, it's totally overshadowed by one player.
massively.
And you're absolutely right. To me, this is like Coronation Street on a football field because it is. They are just acting like kids, and like I say, it's just clickbait.
And can I say one thing as well? I know a lot of people. So I see some in the chat, and I've seen journalists talking about it today. That a lot of people are blaming the agent, and I hear that, right? I hear that agents do a lot of the mouth talk for players, But if Isak didn't agree with everything his agent was saying, he would probably got rid of his agent a long time ago, or come out with a statement himself saying, look, a lot of this has come from my agent. We're no longer together now. Not a lot of what has been said has been true from that part of things. So players use agents as their mouthpiece. This is what people got to remember. That's why I don't like agents, because does Isak's agent look at he probably looks at Liverpool and clubs like that around Europe right now and thinking his players should be playing for them, right? Because it benefits the agent and he feels like the players should be playing at a higher level, maybe. Right?
Well, Lemic, just on that, Lemic has just come on board. It's Modric and Martinez. This lad who hasn't got an agent's license, actually, what he's doing is he's working off his brother, who is part of the agency, if you like. And what this lad has done, this Lemic, has more or less come on board as an advisor. Now, the way it looks like, and again, I have no proof in this, but it looks very much like Alexander Isak has just hired this lad because he's seen what he's done for the likes of Modric to force the move. Martinez at Villa obviously wants out, so Martinez seems to be in this pool as well that literally want to find other clubs. So it seems as though this lad that's come on board, this Lemic, and again, he was asked to go and ask, he was asked by Talk Sports to come on and maybe give us an insight on what's actually going on. And the lad totally refused to be involved in an invitation as an interview on the panel. So he himself, as you can tell, didn't want any nasty questions coming his way because he couldn't answer it. And that's where we are with Isak. I don't blame him. I don't blame his agent because his agent was in Saudi. He was invited to Saudi, but he was invited to Turkey to talk to the the Saudi leader. And he was obviously he was told about the situation with Isak and what it would take for Isak to leave Newcastle. And what Newcastle will be prepared.
Can I just interrupt you there?
Yeah. Go.
Random Access has gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Random.
Thank you, Random.
And those 10 have gone to Just Morg, Darius, Nova Castria, Nerdtrocious, Randall Nichols, Jan Lennartz, Stu Toon, Steve Clancy, Join Football Mad, and John WD40.
Yeah, I like that one.
And we've just
I like that name.
Quick
That's
one
a good
in
name.
from Michael McIntyre. Thank you very much. £5 for that. Have I told you lately how much I hate you, Isaac? How much with an E on?
Is that a big feeling around Newcastle at the moment about the hate?
Yeah.
Is it like a question to you guys on this? Because I see
on this show it's not. Derek was sticking up for him the other night. Derek spent a full show saying it was Eddie Howe who'd made Isak train on his own, touting that conspiracy theory, and within 5 minutes of the show ending, Newcastle United put a statement out completely contradicting it and saying Alexander Isak's welcome to rejoin anytime he wants.
Do you think it is broken, though, the relationship between the club and Isak now?
All he's got to do is come on, score a hat-trick, and we'll be back to normal.
I don't know about that. I think
Again,
it's going to be very weird.
Fickle.
Football fans are all fickle. There's no doubt about that.
Of course it is, absolutely. And I think, the way I look at it now is he'll never be a Shearer, but it'll always be an Owen. Because that's literally how we feel. You know what I mean? He had the opportunity to put himself on a mantelpiece alongside Alan Shearer as one of our all-time greats, losing the likes of Cole to Man U and, players move on. Alan Shearer, obviously being from the area, he could have gone to Manchester United, but decided to come to Newcastle. So that puts him on a different mantle altogether because he at that time, he saw the champions, what he could get, medals, trophies, you name it, money as well. And he decided, apart from that, he's going to go and play at Newcastle. And the amount of goals that the lad scored, he puts him on a different level altogether. But this Isak could have been on a similar trajectory. And
he could have been on a better trajectory.
Well, he could have been, absolutely.
Shearer never won us anything.
No.
I mean, brilliant what he was. Isak's won us a trophy and it could have went on to another one. But I think
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of touched on it before, Jamie, because I disagree, Derek. He cannot just, if he decides to stay with us, we play what,
Well,
Wolverhampton
I don't
first
think
game
it's a
back in
case of him. I
September.
don't think it's a case of him deciding to stay with us. I think it's just a case of
Let's
deciding he's going to stay with us.
so yeah. Well, when he's told he has to stay with us and he decrees that he'll come back to the squad, if he comes on against Wolverhampton and scores, that's not going to be it. That's not going to be all right. You
No,
need a
no.
hell of a PR campaign, and I wouldn't be surprised if the agent's on a bit of a sort of hiding to nothing here, where the agent has told Isak, I will get you this move to Liverpool, I will double your wage. And he's going out till the very, very end of this transfer window. And I wouldn't be particularly shocked if there is a part in the ways, and rightly or wrongly, the agent is scapegoated for this whole episode. And people use that as a way of getting past it.
Agents are scumbags. I ain't going to disagree, but
Mm.
when I read the Newcastle statement, I actually thought it was quite a weak statement. I didn't think they went strong enough, because in that statement they still made out that if Liverpool actually paid the money they think he's worth, that they will still sell him. So that's how I read that statement. You know, underline it. You know, I don't think they went strong enough. They didn't really make a statement where they said, "Look, he ain't for sale." There's no way it's ever happening. Case is closed, window shut as far as we're concerned. He's a Newcastle player. They still made that like, yeah, if Liverpool give us the valuation we value him at, then there's still the possibility he can go. So,
And I think that's still the case, Jamie. I think.
yeah, I don't think anything's changed after that statement, if that makes sense. I think we're still in the same sort of position. I do think after Monday's game we're going to get a lot more information about how this is going to finish.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a conspiracy theory saying that
Here we go.
there's a possibility they've already done the deal, but the agreement is that nothing's announced until after the match.
You're not the only one who's heard that. I've heard a lot. I've heard that, so there's a story going around that Liverpool offered like 130 or something million quid.
130 plus 10.
And it's been accepted, but they're going to keep it all underground till after the game on Monday. So the atmosphere is not worse. That's what I've heard as well. I don't know if that's true, but that's the rumor.
I don't think anything.
There's no way Newcastle put that statement out if that's a fact, because immediately you look like an idiot. Because they said there's the criteria that they said in that statement, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Is Liverpool meeting the asking price and us signing 2 strikers, one of which is a replacement for Callum Wilson, which I'm sure we'll get, whether that's Strand, Lawson or Wissa. I don't think, well, I'm certain, as you said, Gary, that will not happen for Monday night, hopefully for Leeds next weekend. And the other one is a world-class replacement or a potential world-class replacement for Isak. That player just doesn't exist in the market at the moment, and that is why I don't think Isak will leave.
I think there's look, this transfer is not one that might just end this summer either. This could go on for a while. You know, it could be like the January next summer sort of situation, because I don't think Liverpool go walk away from it. It's so interesting how this is going to play out, and I think we're going to find out how this is going to play out after Monday's game, like Tuesday, Wednesday, say like that, because obviously we're getting close to the end of the window as well. So it is very interesting on both sides. It's the biggest story of the summer, ain't it? And let's face it, the newspapers, the media, the pundits, they want this drama to keep going because it's keeping them, you know.
They're making money out of it, mate.
It's the longest story of the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, they're making money, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, it's like we were saying before, and to me, when you were saying that, I don't blame the agents and I don't blame Isak and everything else. You know, for me, Isak, the only person you've got to ask yourself who's advising Isak to do what he's doing. And that seems to be coming from Lemich, not from his agent direct. Even though you're right. I mean, I had an email drop literally at the start, before actually the Celtic game, that Isak wanted away. He'd been questioned a year ago about his commitment to the club, and he wanted to explore other areas. And it was a case of, if Liverpool come knocking, then does he go to Liverpool? And you're absolutely right, Jamie, when it says, 130 plus 10 was the agreement before Isak went out on strike. But every day that goes by now, it seems as though it's closer for him actually staying at the club.
Yeah.
Or because I think also part of that agreement, and I don't know whether you've heard this, Jay, was that Newcastle have to have a replacement in the door before the 130 plus 10 is agreed and announced.
Is that from what's your guy's journalist called?
Craig Hope?
Craig Hope. I think Craig Hope said something like that today, didn't he, in a Q&A or something?
I haven't seen that, mate. No, I haven't seen that.
I think in a Q&A today, apparently he said something along that lines that, the way it's going right now, even if one striker comes into Newcastle and Liverpool bid like 135 with add-ons or something like that, the deal could possibly be done. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody wants, the situation to continue because, like I said, there's already talk about a divide within the camp. Some players automatically, especially those close to Isak, will side with Isak because, your mates always seem to stay together, don't they?
Anthony Gordon, basically.
More or less, yeah, because he's the only one that seems to be in the same mindset. And again, I stated when we took him from Everton, I didn't really admire his actions either going on strike at Everton.
No.
But like I said, he came again, and I don't know whether that was a protection thing from him with the 18-month contract or whether it was a protection thing from the club.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it seems to all unfold because obviously from that, Mitchell, when Isak went to ask about his contract that he was promised to be looked at and obviously gain more wages, he was told that there was more important things to get sorted first, and that his contract, still having 4 years left at the time of his questions, will be, was poo-pooed, if you like, by Paul Mitchell. Now, the way the press say it was like, you're not as important as what I've got coming my way. I've still got 2 players that I want to go and sort their contracts out first before I even consider yours. And again, it just makes it all sound a little bit crazy. Go on, mate.
I was just asking, thank you for the $5. Jamie, has Liverpool really wanted Isak? Do you think it was a good idea to hijack our attempt to get Ekitike?
Do you know the weird thing? I hear a lot of people talk about that all the time. Liverpool always wanted Ekitike. Liverpool were talking to Ekitike since January. So Liverpool had to move quicker, obviously, this summer with obviously the passing of Diogo Jota. So Liverpool needed 2 strikers anyway going into this summer because Darwin Núñez was not in Arne Slot's plans as it is. So yeah, Liverpool were talking to Ekitike since January time. So Liverpool finally pulled the plug and got Ekitike. Liverpool wanted both. I think something happened with the Isak situation. I think Ekitike is always Liverpool's first choice. Then someone told Liverpool that Isak was available, and Liverpool couldn't believe that Isak would be available this summer. And then when they found out it was available, they looked into it and thought they had encouragement to go and do the deal. Yeah, Liverpool want both, and I think that's just the way it is right now. Yeah, they've wanted Ekitike since January. They've been looking at it a long time.
Yeah, well, we went for Ekitike back in 22.
Yeah, 22. I remember that when he was young, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it was a bit of a gamble, if you like. But I was going to ask you, obviously now there's lots of rumours, and again, you don't know how true this stuff is, that you guys are looking at Rodrigo for the Diaz replacement.
Yeah.
Could you really support the Diaz? Everybody's got to be replaced at some point. But if you guys go for Rodrigo, can you afford to get Rodrigo and Isak in the same window?
Yeah.
You think there's still money there?
Yeah, we've sold 210 million in the last 12 months.
Yeah, you've had some good business, haven't you?
And Liverpool got money there anyway. They got because they haven't really spent as much as a club like Liverpool should spend in the amount of money we make. Liverpool have got a lot of money over. I think Liverpool just want this. They're looking to have one ginormous summer where they're getting the players in they feel like they can get in for the next few years, and then in summers after that, just picking up the odd player here and there. I think that's the way they want to work. You know, with Rodrigo, look, obviously this came out today. I saw news about this as well because apparently his agent's in England and all this stuff. He might even just be on holiday. Who knows? But I think Liverpool would look at him. Because if they can't get Isak this summer, I think they might look at getting Rodrigo as that wide player who can play centrally as well. While Ekitike is your first choice there, and then look to maybe try and get Isak in it. Because the thing with Isak as well, if he does stay at Newcastle will need to make him sign a new deal. Because the problem Newcastle will have, if they don't give him a new deal next year with 2 years left of his contract, you could argue his valuation's going to go down.
Yeah.
So then Newcastle.
The different factor then is someone else might come in. At the minute, it's Liverpool or nobody.
Yeah.
I think with everyone on high alert, Lewandowski leaves Barca next year. You've got a bit of competition.
Yeah,
already Real Madrid apparently are there or thereabouts, but they've all said, you know, they've got to think of like Vincent Jr. going next year.
Yeah.
And the demand that Newcastle apparently have on Isak with the 150 mark being, again, the Darren Eales.
And they only like
unquote.
Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The quote, unquote, every player has a price, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this is where this has all come from, I suppose, when you actually backtrack, because everybody was saying, you know, we want to try and we don't want to become a selling club. We want to keep our stars. But I think sometimes, you know, we've seen it with Liverpool in the past where sometimes you do have to let a player go to move forward. And we've not really had a lot of sellable assets in the past to really close that gap between us and the top six. And even, like I say, the selling of Isak, what that will do is allow our PSR issues to be cleared over a few windows where, like yourselves, you didn't spend over a couple of windows. We didn't bring anybody in for 3 windows because of PSR issues. I know it was totally different for you guys. So you've got a lot of money behind you.
Just FSG being tight.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, you're bang on.
Well, it didn't hurt them, did it? They won the bloody league.
Exactly.
No, that is true. That is true. Because I hear a lot online, and I don't know whoever to believe, right, about because Newcastle's wage structure they have at their football club. What I believe from rumours that I've read, you guys can correct me, obviously, that Bruno's your top earner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Isak obviously wants to be the top earner at the football club. That's apparently what he believes he should be, and that was the promise that he's talking about, apparently, with Amanda Stevely before that, and is it Paul Mitchell before that? Yeah. But because other people I read, because I read a lot of stuff online, most of it's bullshit, but you never know. So when I've got you guys here, it's easy to ask. That Newcastle can't actually afford them wages right now, but they could the following summer when PSR changes a little bit next year. I don't know what to believe because I believe Isak's on 120, isn't he? Is that the truth?
Yeah. That wouldn't be a problem. I mean, 120 is only 6 million.
But Isak apparently. But would Isak? What's Isak after? Is he after 250, 300? What's he?
300 apparently.
Can Newcastle afford to do 300 on Isak a week? I know. By the way, I don't know. I'm just asking you.
I mean, this is pure. It's all pure speculation. I think they would probably offer him 250.
Yeah.
With 50 achievable bonuses if you know qualify for the Champions League because that pays for itself then.
Yeah.
And you know obviously more for winning the Premier League.
I think the answer, Jamie, is because I've seen a lot of this at the start of the summer from Liverpool accounts that we have PSR problems. We had big PSR problems last summer that resulted in a 30th of June fire sale of Elliot Anderson and Yankuba Minte. Since then, we've sold Miguel Almiron, we've sold Lloyd Kelly, Martin Dubravka, but because of the 3-year rolling system for how PSR is calculated, we've lost a lot of outlay from 3 years ago, and we're actually in a pretty good PSR position. I think in terms of outgoings, I think we would say we would probably spend 200 million this summer And that's before we sell the likes of Sean Longstaff and Dubravka.
Yeah,
So in terms of that going on wages, I think would be
Yeah.
fine. It's just what it does to your wage structure across the club, because then everyone wants 300
yeah,
grand
because
a week.
Denali and Bruno would be knocking on the door, wouldn't they? That'd be the thing.
Yeah, except that they've just signed. You
Have
know,
they I don't know as well.
they are 2030 contracts.
Yeah, well, they got good contracts in.
There is a thing that keeps on rearing its ugly head, which I don't believe for 1 second, which says that Bruno, in Bruno's contract, it says that he has to be the top earner, and I don't believe that for a second. Nobody gets that in that contract.
No.
You haven't had that.
Sorry?
Oh, it's actually
You haven't had that.
Oh,
Yeah, but Shearer, ain't it?
World record transfer fee. Yeah, I think he's probably
Shearer getting what he wants is like Stevie G getting what he wants at Liverpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're allowed it.
And anyway, let's get on to the match. Enough of Isak's nonsense.
Yeah, good weekend from both teams, if you like. Obviously, it started the weekend with you guys playing. Who were you playing against? Was it
Bournemouth?
Bournemouth, wasn't it? Not Brent. Why have I got Brentford on me? Bloody playing Wissa.
Top research, guys.
Bournemouth, yeah. So cracking start, I suppose. 4-2 winners in the end. Thought you were going to throw it away. Yeah, I thought you were going to throw it away at one point.
So did I.
I had my fingers crossed. I'd back Bournemouth at 14-1.
Crazy, wasn't it? Here we go. The American mag. Every time we get an Oppo fan, Winnie's scared to talk. Says Chris, the American mag.
Win talks when he's got something to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, man, we're getting a show filled with common sense and decent crack. Don't bring that up.
Yeah.
We don't want no more conspiracy theories.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously we go to Villa Park, which has been a problem ground for us this weekend. And unfortunately, because we haven't got a front man, really struggled to get the 3 points. But it was a good game, a good competitive game, dominating most of the play. And Villa Park, at Villa Park, like I say, which is their fortress. As Wynn keeps on telling me, they hadn't lost a game in 22 games.
Unbeaten in 22.
Well, 23 now, because we still didn't win.
Yeah,
even against 10 men, we bloody struggled to get behind them.
Yeah.
But again, it was a good competitive game, and that was the thing that I wanted to say. For me, it was a very positive outlook from what Eddie Howe has achieved with the boys, with all this cloud that's over them. What do you think it's going to be like at St James's Park under the floodlights on Monday night? Because usually under the lights on a night time at St James's Park, it's loud, it's raucous. With all this going on, Jay, I think it's going to be even worse.
It's going to be mad, ain't it? I've seen a lot of people already say it's going to be like an episode of WWE or something like that. It's definitely going to be entertaining. It's going to be must-watch drama. Let's face it. It's going to be like the game could actually be totally crap, but the drama around the game could highlight everything. The atmosphere. And I love St James's, man. It's a great stadium, especially on that night game. A bit like Anfield, night games are just special places to be. And it's going to be a raucous atmosphere. And, Newcastle fans, they feel justified in the way they feel. And I don't blame them. I'm not going to sit here and tell Newcastle fans how to feel. So they feel justified how they're feeling. And I think that's going to make an extremely good atmosphere. And, yeah, atmosphere like that can change games, man. It's going to be difficult for Liverpool. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, like I say, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, I wanted to try and take my missus. My missus isn't a football fan whatsoever. But I was planning on being up in the Northeast this weekend. I'd got a chance of getting a couple of tickets, but things change. So let's get on to what Mr. Slot has to say about this game. Again, just let me know that you guys can hear this. I'm going to try and make sure I've got everything checked, because sometimes my computer doesn't want to play the sound. I don't know why.
No, Jeremy has a very positive injury record. Connor has been out once or twice last season. Yeah, these things happen in a season. We only have at the moment 2 injuries. Unfortunately, it's 2 for the same position. But the good thing is that some other player can play in that position as well. Wata played in that position for a few minutes. Dominic Soboslai already played in that position. So there are other options we can explore. Joe Gomez is definitely one of them, but for him to already play 20 minutes, that was already quite a lot. I wouldn't say he had a setback, but he wasn't able to train 3 days in a row completely with the team. Which is completely normal if you're out for so long and all of a sudden the manager needs you for 20 minutes. But he's training with the team, so let's see where he is on Monday, if he can be involved in the team or if he can even start. But there are other options we have as well in this position. It's just, you cannot prepare for 2 injuries in one position. It would be stupid for us to have 3 fullbacks or 5 left backs, although we have 3 left backs at the moment.
So, interesting one. Obviously, nobody anticipated Frimpong to be out, but it does look very much like you are going to be struggling at right back position. Kirkes seems to have jumped on board and hit the ground running for you, as we saw him do at Bournemouth. Very good and likeable character, Kirkes. I like Kirkes. I like Frimpong as an attacking player. I just see him as a bit of a weakness as a defender. What's your thoughts on this on the right back scenario at Liverpool then?
Yeah, look, I like Frimpong. I actually think Frimpong started the game against Bournemouth actually okay. So actually, we conceded the goals when he came off. So his pace his recovery pace. I'm not saying he's Kyle Walker like. Kyle Walker had that recovery pace if he was out of position, that just getting back, stopped across or something like that. That's what Frimpong has, and he's got a bit more determination to defend instead of other geezer we used to have there. And so I like Frimpong. I think it will be a miss in an attacking sense against Newcastle, but. We've got options there. He said about Joe Gomez there. I don't think Gomez. I think Szoboszlai will start right back.
Yeah, me too. That's what I think.
Szoboszlai right back.
Szoboszlai
Played there
right
a few
back.
times. Yeah, he's played there quite.
He's
a few
played there
times,
before. Yeah, I'm going to say he's played there. And to be fair, he seemed quite. He's like. I think
got the energy. He's got the energy to play there. That's the thing.
Has he got the pace?
Jamie, when you were talking about like looking at Rodrigo and Ekitike and Isak both in the strikers roles and the 110 million you've spent on Wirtz, I think from what I saw the other night, you should be buying a couple of defenders.
Well, we just got money.
Semenyo kind of walked through the Liverpool defence for what was a fantastic second goal, and they looked a little bit vulnerable on the counter. And what I saw on the Newcastle socials was, when we play these boys, get it to our wide men, and Elanga and Gordon will absolutely toast them. And I think there's a big difference between a midfielder who can play right back if pushed and playing right back in a Premier League game against a player with the pace of Anthony Gordon. And I think if we can execute that game plan, we could do very, very well if only we had someone in the middle to put it in.
No, you are right there. Obviously, he's on the midfield. I mean, it is a shame. Obviously, both like the only 2 injuries we got, as Slot said, is both our right backs, which is just it's unfortunate. Like he says, though, you can't have 3 or 4 or 5 bloody fullbacks on you. Like, it's just unlucky. The thing is, we got the young guy from Parma and Giovanni Leone. He's in now. I think Liverpool probably will end up getting Mark Gay before the end of the transfer window as well. So that gives us that'll give us 5 centre backs. We've got 2 right backs, 3 left backs as it stands right now. So, depth wise, we should be covered for. I think it's just the way we play. I believe we're the most attacking team in the Premier League as a whole team, like 11 players. The only 2 players that don't really attack for Liverpool are Virgil and Konate. Do you know what I mean? Everyone else is literally on the front foot on the attack. And I think the difference in that game, which we'll probably have on Monday night, was not having Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch is very important to the way Liverpool play.
Yeah, he's your engine, isn't he?
Yeah, he's extremely important. And if him and McAllister are in that double pivot, I think that gives us far more protection. As well, I don't think we're going to play like we did against Bournemouth either. So I think we're going to play counter-attacking football against Newcastle.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've
That'll be
always got us
interesting.
on the. Yeah, we've just had Matty, who's a red. He's been following us for a while now.
Yeah,
Welcome, Matty Gorman. He's 199. Thank you for that, mate. 4-1 for the red men, lads. Ekatike to get a couple, he states. I mean, listen, I think the longer this game goes on without us conceding, I think the better it will be as a spectacle, because
Well,
I think
take the
it'll
draw, man.
be. I think it's good. It's going to be one of them games where, as you quite rightly said, the midfield could win or lose this game, and it's how each midfield goes. I mean, we've got there's a couple of lads that I think, and I remember the likes of Anthony Gordon. Obviously, he's a lifelong Red supporter, but he got took out by Van Dijk. By Van Dijk's shoulder, which was unseen by anybody that's got a camera in front of them.
It was
penalty area.
It was naughty. Even I admitted it. It was.
Yeah, it was very, very naughty. And obviously, he could potentially looking, obviously, if he's playing through the middle again, to be getting one over the lads at the back. What's your thoughts on the pace in the team then? Because you as you quite rightly say, we know Salah's the outlet. He's the lad that's always available on that right hand side, and it seems to be, as soon as Alisson's got the ball, there's only one person that they're actually looking for, and that's Mo Salah. And like I said, as much as you build from the back, you're also quite cute at actually just delivering the ball over the top for the likes of Salah's pace to get in behind. So as much as we like, the high press is the identity type of thing, what we have to be careful of is not allowing you behind our very, very slow defence at times. So if we play the high line, I think we could be hurt. So do you think that's going to be one of your outlets, Salah, as always?
Oh yeah, look, Salah. Look, what Salah does now, he no longer runs. He just stays out. He don't go back anymore. Yeah. He's like, and I don't blame him, man. 33, just wants. As I say, just leave him out there and score goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think Ekatike will be our main outlet. I watched him since we obviously got him. I watched him when he was at Frankfurt as well. I always really liked him, and the last few games he's played for Liverpool, the way he drops in deep and picks up little spaces in the middle of the park with his link-up play, his first touch, and then his pace to running behind, I think he's going to be very important to the way Liverpool want to get out against Newcastle. Obviously, as you say, we always got that long diagonal, Virgil and that to Mo. That is something that, and we know what Mo does. Mo's very predictable in his play, but it's stopping it. That's always been the issue for everyone that plays against Mo. And then you've got Cody on the left-hand side, who's such a Marmite figure for Liverpool fans. There's a lot of Liverpool fans that don't actually like Cody. Cody Gakpo winds me up at times, but he's a goal scorer. That's what he does. He scores goals. And look, Wirtz didn't have the best game in the first game, but we all know Wirtz's quality is there. So I think what you're saying might happen. I think both teams might look to play counter-attacking because they're worried about the pace of both sides in behind. But I think what might happen is that, because Liverpool do this all the time, the way we play is that it will start off counter-attacking, and then if Newcastle City back a little bit, we just go back into that thing where, right, everyone attack. Like, all 8 players in front of the ball, let's just go and because Liverpool, I think Liverpool, even on a bad day, scores goals. Do you know what I mean? That's
but you've got lots of goals that can score, haven't you?
Like everyone said, we was not very good against Bournemouth, and we end up scoring 4 goals. It's so I think Liverpool always
Irish assassin there. Are you on about pace, Gary?
Yeah, exactly. Here we go.
Irish assassin.
Irish has got his stats up.
$5. Kirker's speed is only 30 kilometres an hour. Frimpong's 36. Szoboszlai 36.7. Gordon is 36.68. Sub speed is crazy. He is speeding.
Well, that's just one metric. He's not a defender. He's not a natural right back. And the small percentage difference in playing, it's kind of the equivalent of saying like the best footballer you play with could do a job for like Newcastle, because it's such a cut above the small percentages in the Premier League. If you're playing someone who is not a natural right back, We should know, lads, because we had Jacob Murphy and Matt Ritchie playing at fullback a couple of years
Exactly.
back.
And they look so out of place, didn't they?
Didn't it? And Jacob Murphy's got plenty of pace. It's not a single thing. It's not about who's the fastest. All right, you might beat him to a race to a loose ball, but with someone running at you like Anthony Gordon, you've got to know how to defend that like a Premier League defender.
Yeah, that's spot on. Go on, Jay, sorry.
If Bradley, because the game's not till Monday, because Conor Bradley was back in training today, if they feel like he's okay to go and he's training from now till the match day, and he looks good, they might just put him in at right back and give him an hour sort of thing. That could be something they might look at because he's obviously our natural right back. And then Joe Gomez's situation, like I'd love Joe Gomez to play right back because I think that'd be absolutely fine because Joe Gomez is a cool, calm defender, especially at right back. And that'd be fine. But hearing Stock today saying 20 minutes was a bit much for him. It's like, fucking hell. So I was hopefully it's either Joey Gomez or Conor Bradley playing that right back position. But if it is Szoboszlai, it's Szoboszlai. And Liverpool, if it is Szoboszlai playing right back, Liverpool can't play that counter-attacking game, obviously, because he's not a natural right back. So
yeah. So what I'm going to come.
Michael McIntyre say you can't say it on the chat on screen, but on the actual app you can.
Yeah, a ghost of our hippo.
Game over.
Yeah, game over. And I think, like I say, it is. But thank you, Michael, for your £2, buddy, and your super sticker. That's brilliant. I have got a little bit of a tactical pad in a minute that I'm going to put up for Jamie to obviously pick his team, what he believes is going to be there for Monday night, and we'll try and organise our side to compete. But before we go on to that, let's hear what Arnie's got to say about all things Newcastle, I suppose.
What I can tell you is not a lot. And if someone else is going to ask that question, it's going to be the same answer. So, as I've said so many times, and it's been shown on Friday as well, I could even impact the game Friday with the players we had on the bench. Federico came in, scored a goal. So it would be much nicer for us to talk about the players we have and for me. But I can also understand that you have to ask this question, but your superior probably told you, and I know what his answer is going to be. What I can tell you is...
Well, obviously, he's just trying to get away there from the question that everybody's asked. Yeah.
Talking about the players that are playing.
Yeah, let's talk about who we've got. I did have one, and apologies, because I thought I'd put it up there, but that's not the one I wanted to show you, but I'll try and source it. And he got a little bit he come unstuck because he forgot where we were playing or where Newcastle play. And he had to ask the journos, is it St James's Park? Which obviously everybody just questioned and sniggered as they go by. But again, he does come back and say, we all know what James's Park is like, especially at night games. It's going to be, the game for me, it was a 3-3 against you guys because it was end to end. It was such a battle. And I felt gutted that the lads, having worked so hard, only come away with a point that night because, like I say, it was a great night of football.
Only just snatched a point, didn't we?
We could have threw it away.
Is that when Kelleher made the mistake?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. Kind of caught in no man's land, wasn't he?
Yeah. Fabian Shaw on that.
Nicking at the back.
Nicking at the back.
And that was a great goal.
Yeah, it was. It was
a
crazy goal.
That was a great game of football. That was a great.
It was superb. Right then, let's get on to this one then, Jay. So this is down to you, my friend, to pick your 11. This is your side, as you can see on the screen, that started against Bournemouth with Frimpong and Kerkez, Van Dijk, Konate in the back, Decker in goal, Szoboszlai, McAllister as your deep players, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo on the left, with Ekitike up top. So we know that there's going to be an issue with Frimpong, so I'm going to have to bring him out. And you believe Szoboszlai is going to go to right back?
Yeah, at this moment in time, especially the way the manager was just speaking there, he mentioned Szoboszlai quite a bit, so I think that's in his idea. Before the press conference, my thinking for this game was going to be Joe Gomez at right back before he mentioned that Gomez, can't train. Gomez at right back, and then I was going to put Wirtz at left wing.
Right.
Szoboszlai in the 10, McAllister and Gravenberch, Salah and Ekitike, just to get more control from that.
Yeah.
From that, because I think Szoboszlai again is a Marmite player with a Liverpool fan base. I can understand it why, but I think Szoboszlai is extremely important to what Arne Slot wants to do, and he wants to try and fit him and Wirtz in the same 11. At the moment, they're playing in the same 11 just because of either injuries or suspensions. But yeah, I think Szoboszlai. I think the only change will be Szoboszlai at right back, and then McAllister and Gravenberch in a double, and then the rest will be the same.
Will be exactly the same.
A big question I've got, Jamie, and sorry, I don't think the graphic shows this, but who are you planning on playing at VAR on Monday night? Who's going to disallow a perfectly good goal from us? And
it's crazy. It's crazy. Liverpool never had VAR on their side against Bournemouth, to be fair.
Well, there you go. So you think it's going to be exactly the same then? Gravenberch coming in for your... again, he frees up McAllister as well, doesn't it, to get going and to spend more...
So with Szoboszlai in that central role, especially when he plays deeper, I do like him there. But the problem with him there, he leaves his space quite a lot because he likes to get into the opposition box. When you vacate your area in that central midfield area and you play attacking like Liverpool do, it means one of Konate or Virgil got to step up to make sure that space is taken up by a red shirt and not an opposition shirt. Otherwise, you're doomed for it. With Gravenberch and McAllister, I believe they will keep their positions a little bit more, especially Gravenberch, and won't vacate that area so much. Could give us a little bit more control. But yeah, I think that'd be the team, and I think that'd be it, man. Perfect.
Cool. Right then, gentlemen, the mighty win and our Jamie from obviously from Newcastle point of view. I've got Popey in goal because I don't see him obviously losing his spots after keeping a clean sheet. Wasn't really required very often against Aston Villa. The defence in front of him played very, very well. Who do you believe will be in our back line, or do you believe that Pope will stay in goal? Do you think Ramsdale will come in, or do you think Pope will be there?
I'm still seeing the Liverpool team, Gary, there. I don't know if you...
No, I haven't put any of our team until you tell me where we are. It's up to you to pick them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pope, off the back of the clean sheet at a tricky ground, although he didn't do much.
Yeah.
Still
I don't think I kind of see Eddie dropping Pope.
Going at the back then, what do you see us playing? 4,
That's
5?
the interesting. That's the $64,000 question, isn't it?
I have a feeling we're going to play 3 centre backs.
I've got a feeling we're going to play 5 with the wing backs.
Yeah.
And only 2 up front. That's what I think we're going to play. A double strike force of Elanga and Gordon.
But their full-backs are the weak spot, though.
Well, that's why I'm expecting Elanga and Gordon to be, Yeah. I think Barnes could be the one missing out of this one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think 4-3.
I mean, we know the midfield 3 is going to be Tonali, J7, and Bruno.
Okay, then let's go with Jamie first. Then, Jamie, what's your lineup? Give us your lineup.
My lineup is the same lineup that started at Aston Villa on Saturday.
So Trips, Shaw, Burn, and Tino, yeah?
Yeah, Livermento has done a couple of excellent jobs on Mo Salah, and Dan Burn does a good job of helping him out. And that leaves Ekitike to share, but
yeah. So
I think it's a big old game for Thiago to debut in after 7 or 8 days with the club, So
I mean, it'll obviously depend on how he's done in training. Having said that, with Ekitike's pace against Burn and Shea, I'm kind of worried.
Again, it's that high line, isn't it? It's whether you can.
Which is why I think you might shove Cho in, or even Botman.
You happy with the 3 then? At the
I think You would
definitely
ask 100 Newcastle fans and they wouldn't have it.
picks itself. That.
Right then, mate. What are you doing up front then? You're going to throw a Langer in to have a go
Yeah,
down the wing?
Definitely.
Alanga, Barnes and Gordon with a little bit of interchangeability up there.
So Gordon through the middle as normal?
Yeah.
So literally exactly as we saw against Villa then?
Yeah.
Yep.
As I say, I'm...
And Win, your change? Guys in the chat, do you believe our Jamie? If you do, just give us a yes. I think that's going to be my 11 type of thing. And then we're going to go for Mighty Win. Go on then, mate. What do you believe it could be?
I think you might shove either Botman or Joe in the middle.
Okay, so who's coming out of the team then to accommodate?
Barnes.
So you think Barnes will come out?
Yeah.
And you're going to put Botman or Chow? Which one?
I may be tempted to give Joe a baptism of fire. And then you've got the option of...
just before we go any further then, because obviously this has been a system of play that we've seen before, because you've got Shaw that comes and covers the right back area when Trippier goes forward, and when Tino obviously goes on the overlap, you will have Dan Burn slotted out here. Now, obviously you've got to be careful because you've got the likes of Mo Salah. Would you not consider dropping Shaw and throwing Chow in there because of the pace of Ekatike in that instance?
I would, but I don't think Eddie will.
So you'd go with Botman, Burn, and Shaw as your three?
Yeah, I'd keep Botman. Again, Botman made of glass. Do we really want to risk him?
And what would you go with the lads in the middle? You'd keep it the same as your three.
That's exactly what I would do there. That's 5-3-2.
And your 5-3-2. So that's Win. Yeah. So again, if you're happy with Win, give us yes.
I hope they play that.
Yeah. I'm going to say that favours you a lot more than it favours us.
Let's hope Bruno can get his shooting boots on, because the number of times, the back end of last season and even against Villa, when he got to the edge of the box with a shooting opportunity and either chose to play a fancy pass or the shot was haywire, let's get him some shooting practice.
So that's your tactic. Let's pack the team with defenders and hope Bruno scores from the halfway line.
Halfway line, yeah.
Bloody hell.
I mean, there is, like I said, I do like this setup, but I wouldn't have three in the middle. I would probably lose Bruno as my 10. I'd drop J7 and Tonali to try and cover this area here, because obviously these can box if they want. If they want Zoboszlai to drop out, you can actually get a box midfield. So you have to be careful that you're not overrun down this side. So what you do get then is, lads that can start out wide and can run the diagonals. And obviously then when you get your overlappers from your wing backs, if you like, you've got link play. And I think that is where you're going to lose a lot of your players, because you're ending up with 2-on-1 scenarios if you haven't got lads playing wide. And that just means everybody shuffles across to play those supports when these guys go forward. So it has to be a decent setup. And everybody, as we've seen in the chats before, where everybody has a trigger point to move into a certain section. I can see, potentially that working. I mean, what that does also give you is Bruno not having that recovery speed, having to go box to box and try and get back into position as well. So, there is some potential there, but I think it would be more a wider 2 rather than a narrow 2.
I think, Gary, you made a point before. You said the longer this game goes on, the more it favours us. And I would say it a bit different, because I would liken it more to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup second leg against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Where the atmosphere was off the scale, which it will be Bank Holiday Monday, 8 o'clock kickoff.
Everybody pissed.
Everybody pissed. Everything that's gone before. First home game of the season. I think the atmosphere will be off the scale, and the look to do what they did against Arsenal, what they did against Paris in the Champions League, and capitalise and sort of use that atmosphere to come out the blocks quickly. And I think this formation just invites Liverpool on a bit, and it is a sort of suck it up and try and get a goal later on. I think.
But do you not think that's going to be the tactic anyway? You know, they've got Salah, we've got Elanga. You don't think it will be?
I believe the tactic will be, and you can read this somewhere in our ground on Monday night. The tactic will be get into them.
Well, somebody's just put in the chat, are you guys a betting man? And I says, well, the only bet that I would put on, even though I'm not a gambler, the only bet I'd put on is I don't think J7 will be cardless at the end of the day.
No, yellow. If anyone wants to do anything like that, yellow cards, man.
Yeah, it's going to be full of it. Yeah, it's going to be full of it.
Because the emotion of the game, because of the atmosphere, feeds down to the players, don't it? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just on the Monday night thing as well, and I would like to appeal to the comments section a little bit, because I'm seriously pissed off that this is a Monday night kickoff. Because I also, obviously, as you know, have 2 season tickets for me and my boy. One was desperate to get to this game, and I'm in Disneyland Paris all week next week. So if it had been the Saturday, I could have got. If it had been the Sunday, it would have been severe negotiations between me and my wife about what time we set off for France. But as it is, Monday night, we're literally there. So if anyone knows how to watch a Premier League game in Disneyland Paris, please let me know.
It's going to be on
there, because it's on Sky Sports, mate. So you don't go to a bar.
Yeah, there's a nice little bar in our hotel, but you don't know how it compares to what else is going on in French football and stuff like that. And the back end of that tale is we're coming back from France next Saturday, and we're driving up from Dover, and I'm going to be jumping out the car and getting a train in somewhere in Yorkshire and in time to get to Elland Road for the 5:30 kickoff. Yeah,
I got a question. What team pajamas will Isak be wearing watching this game Monday night?
That's a good one. Will he be wearing them? That's what you got to say. I mean, to be fair, you know, when you think about it, like I say, this lad going back to Isak, you can understand from our point of view when you look at our lineup. You know, Anthony Gordon being our attacker, and that's what I said. You know, sometimes I question where goals are going to come from because without pace. Getting in behind, and I think that's how it's going to be. I think we're going to line up with a 5 midfield, and we are going to obviously draw Liverpool on, and we are going to hopefully get a breakaway. And I think it'll be Elanga that gets or tries to get in behind. Go on, then, mate. I'll let you do that one.
There's DB 1981. I think he's a red anyway. Good luck on Monday, lads. Thank you for hitting the 100 likes for these lads, which we've just done. Thank you very much. He's a man of his word because he said earlier on in the chat, I believe, if we hit 100 likes, he would donate £5. Thank you.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Big up, man.
And there's another one that's just come in.
And we've got random access. Been a great show, lads. Thank you. Random Fiver.
Thanks, Random. Yeah, cheers, buddy. As always. Go on then, Jay. Sorry, mate.
It could, you know, not having a striker. So centre-backs don't like playing against a team that don't have a striker because they got no one to pick up.
Yeah, they can lose themselves.
Yeah, no matter how good the centre-back is either. So it could be a ploy where I think what you're saying could be right, where they pack that midfield up and bring Liverpool onto you guys, and then you try and, you know, exploit Liverpool's weaknesses, especially in the wide areas when we get counter-attacked on in transition. That could be it's a gamble as well, because obviously Liverpool got the quality to get early goals as well. But this could make it a fascinating game. It really could. This is the way you got it lined up there is something you might see a lot in the game. Yeah, where Liverpool pinning Newcastle back, but Newcastle want that.
Yeah.
GS7 has also been very, very adept recently at dropping into that back line, especially at left back.
Yeah, he comes into this hollow here, doesn't he? and he'll just try again, height and muscle. Just tries to, and again, I can see us playing, like I say, the 5 with J7 dropping in and playing the 5-4 at times, especially if the likes of Salah's trying to get behind Tino at this right back in left back position, because obviously that's not his natural position, but he's done really well there.
Let's have a repeat of the cup final where he never got a sniff.
Well, like I said, I think very much, like you said, Zoba's like playing out of position for them. It counteracts certain issues that they will have on us. But again, for me, this is the area that'll be won or lost. It'll be midfield. And I think if whoever can control, we know that Liverpool will be the possessive team. They will try and create counters a lot of the time and try and keep the ball and let us run. For us, it'll be a case of first 15, 20 minutes. If we can't get a goal within the first 15, 20 minutes on that press, it will be a case of trying to break the lines as Liverpool advance further into the game. So I think there's a lot riding on this, but I do think it's going to be a cracker. I really do. I think it's going to be an atmosphere and a half. So,
and just on the subject of atmosphere and yellow cards that Jamie was on about, the referee is Simon Hooper Blooper.
Oh, God.
And
yeah, exactly.
Our record with Hooper,
he's an awful ref, man.
Is he's refereed us in 18 Prem games, which we've won 5, drawn 5, and lost 8. 4 in the Championship, won 2, drawn 1, lost 1. However, in cup competitions, we do pretty well. He's refereed 2, we won them both against Man City and Arsenal. So that wasn't bad.
Excellent. Right, gentlemen, is there anything else that you guys want to say before we say good night?
No, well, we're going to have some predictions, though.
I was going to say, right then, starting, we'll go with you then first, mate. What's your thoughts? You've gone 2-1 Liverpool on our prediction league.
2-1 Liverpool, indeed. I'm very, very rarely do I ever
The mighty win.
bet against the Toon. I am always super, super overconfident, some would say. But I think despite what's going to be a magnificent atmosphere, I think Liverpool are just going to have too much for us with the current state of affairs that we've got without a striker.
Jamie?
First of all, I'd have to say I would be predicting Liverpool to win as well if I thought we were playing with 10 defenders like wins masterstroke. But first of all, I don't know, because there's a lot of unknowns, especially this early in the season. But I just think it's got the feel of being one of those nights. I'd hoped we'd have had a striker in when I said 2-0. But I'm going to stick with 2-0. I'm going to say if the atmosphere gets us an early goal, some of those new signings in the Liverpool side will not have a clue where they are, and they'll go missing. We all saw what happens to the French under a big night at St James's Park when we played Paris Saint-Germain. So good luck that TK. And I think it's a big if, but if we get that flying start, I think we win. I'm sticking with 2-0. And Sky
Red Jamie, go for it then, mate. What's your thoughts?
So after watching Newcastle's first game, Newcastle had some really nice patterns of play, but it was just that final third that was the issue for Newcastle, because obviously, Anthony Gordon's not used to be playing through the middle. It's not natural for him. But I think because the way Liverpool play and how attack-minded we are, I think we'll score goals. I think you score goals, but I think we win an amazing game of football, 3-2.
Oh, it's interesting.
I think
maybe it'll be another 4-3 classic.
It's going to be a mad game. I think Liverpool feel less threatened because you haven't got an Isak up top right now or a striker in this game. So I think Liverpool will feel less threatened by that, but still aware of the wide players and the quality you got on the counter attack. But Liverpool will just play to score goals. That's how we just play. We scored when we scored our fourth against Bournemouth. They still flying forward to get a fifth and a sixth. It's just it's natural to Liverpool to play that way. So I think there'll be a lot of goals in the game.
But don't you find though, like when you're when the change of play between yourselves and Bournemouth at times, it was very much like a case of when Bournemouth got the equaliser, it took you a while just to get your thoughts back to where you should be. And you're very right. When you're playing at home, you have got the crowd with you. You're on that crest of a wave, if you like. There's some nice patterns of play. You're able to break down. Bodies get into the box.
Definitely.
Are they going to be the same at St James's Park? Because we know that you've got a cracking side. We know that you're always going to create something. I just think, if I'm honest with you, I just think that this is going to be one of those nights where we will need an element of luck because of not having a striker. We'll need it coming off somebody's arse, ear hole or something like that, deflection to beat Becker. And I think the lads will have that 5% extra passion and want because of the scenario as well. The Isak stories and everything else. I think there's going to be a lot of drive in this one. And we all know the lads, again, I've often said, floodlit at St James's Park becomes a fortress anyway. I used to love the evening games at St James's Park. So I'm going 2-1 Newcastle. But I do think it's going to be very much an end-to-end, real quick game of football. And it's one I am so looking forward to. And again,
Liverpool on Friday reminded me of Spurs last year. The number of times,
a terrible thing to see in front of.
I'm going to say,
but they just had swarms of people forward and nobody at the back, and Bournemouth were able to pass through that the midfield, pass over the midfield, and they were wide open.
Actually, Jamie, I think an interesting point because, if from a Liverpool point of view, if Newcastle did win the game on Monday night, how much do you think Arne Slot would bid for the 3 points afterwards?
So I didn't hear. Sorry, I was actually just watching my daughter's thing then. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, if we do win on Monday night, how much do you think Arne Slot's going to bid for the 3 points afterwards? How much is he going to pay for that?
How much the bid? I don't know, man. I don't know. It depends what the going rate is, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, like I say, and it wouldn't surprise me whether we see a bid come in for Isak post Monday anyway, because obviously we need to start. Well, something needs to happen, doesn't it, sooner rather than later, and hopefully we can get somebody in. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be registered on time unless something happens at the 11th hour tonight.
Well, apparently Fabrizio's just tweeted and said there's been big movement on Nicholas Jackson. He's definitely leaving Chelsea, and understand that Newcastle and Bayern Munich have both called again in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, well,
I heard Villa earlier.
Yeah, well,
Villa were in for him.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously everybody was going that there was lots of rumours on chat about Strand Larsen saying that there was only a 5 million difference between ours. I mean, they paid, was it 23 million for Strand Larsen this season? And, for Newcastle to go in there, they would want to triple that to get, again, a replacement for him. So if Newcastle wanted to go and pay 65 million for Strand Larsen when there's other players out there, I'm not sure that would be good business, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I do like Strand Larsen. I do like him, but I still don't think he's a Newcastle player. He's very much the Chris Wood style of player. He suits more when Harvey Barnes is in the squad rather than too pacey, because, again, as we saw against Villa, if Alanga gets down the right-hand side with his pace, when he looks over, if it wasn't for Anthony Gordon being alongside him, there'd be nobody else to aim for. And I mean, he did take the shot off where he could have squared it to Anthony Gordon. But that's, like I say, that's neither here or there. When you're in that position and you're through on goal, sometimes you'd be questioned if you didn't take the shot. So I understood why you took the shot. But like I say, for Anthony Gordon. If it wasn't for Anthony Gordon's pace, I don't think anybody else would have been with him. There's still lots of reports. I know I'm going 35 minutes ago, as you've just said there. Mundo Deportivo is reporting on Chelsea's plans regarding Nico Jackson's future. And they go on.
I think this
to
is academic for this game because we're at Thursday night now. None of these transfers are very much about to happen. And I think at the very, very, very best, you might get somebody on the bench who threw on for the last 10 minutes. I really think from Newcastle's point of view, we're looking at who can we get in as a striker for Leeds.
For Leeds, absolutely. I'm just saying that these are the guys now that are touting because I just wanted to poo-poo the Strand Larson because everybody's still questioning in the chat whether this Strand Larson thing is. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, it could be one of those red herrings where we try and throw the scent away from the lads that we're going for. But Chelsea wants 70 million euros, and that's where we are with that one. But a couple of interesting ones. This again, somebody I hadn't heard, and I think it was Irish who threw it in the mix this morning, was Esposito. Again, another player that seems to have acquired some interests from Newcastle. Again, a player that I don't really know a lot of at Inter Milan. But he seems as though he's been heavily looked at. Like I say, I don't think it'll be for Monday's game. But a player who has been mentioned, and this the reasons why I've started to ask you, Nathan Ake has now been asked or questioned about whether he would be interested in a move. Now, he's 30 years old. Obviously, we know he's Dutch defender, but Newcastle now are showing a little bit of interest and inquiring about him. Reported that Ake desires more. Yeah,
he was linked a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, apparently Everton and West Ham are also looking.
What's that going to do with the development of Chow?
Wow.
And that was 8 hours ago that come through.
Get some of these stars out the way, Gary.
Go on then, mate, yeah.
We've got Northern Golfer. Clubs are now being affected by wages from bigger clubs, which they can't because of PSR. PSR have created a monster that is hurting the game and protecting clubs. Tammy Vivid, if Isak was intelligent, he'd make his own mind up and not need an agent's opinion. The truth is, Isak is dumb. So dumb he doesn't realise how privileged he is and lucky to have a boss like Howe and the fans. Ian CR65, there's no way we've done a deal with Liverpool already. We'll not sell Isak until we have 2 strikers in.
Correct.
Predator is saying they basically admitted a deal could be done, but as the statement points out, the conditions have been met and they have not been met, I think he means, and they don't believe they will be. Boom Shankar, yes, we can afford both. That was Rodrigo and Isak. But I don't believe we are actually in for Rodrigo. So that's one of your lads there, Jamie. Boom Shankar.
That means may the seed of your line be fruitful in the belly of your woman.
And Liverpool win 3-1. Think it will be tenacious, it will be gritty and an amazing atmosphere at St James's Park, but I believe we will rise above it and show our quality, expecting a top game, and that's more or less where I am. Not the 3-1, but the 2-1. That's them.
Brilliant. So obviously, just want to say thank you to Liverbird for the $1. Thanks to Random Access for gifting your 10 memberships. We said for anybody that's became a member today, please try and renew once they have finished. Michael McIntyre, thank you very much. Irish Assassin, Chris the American Mag, Matty Gorman, and DB1981. And obviously then there's Random right at the end with his £5 super chat. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to the Mighty Win. Thank you, Jamie from the Mag. Thank you, Jamie from the Reds. And thank you, everybody out there in Viewerland. Again,
where can they see you on?
Promote where you are, mate.
Jamie Phillips Football Chats for everything Liverpool.
Jamie Phillips Football Chat.
And I do. I'm
Excellent,
starting
thanks.
this season because I've been doing Italian watch-alongs on my. So there's another thing called Big Up. I've got a Big Up channel, and been doing Italian watch-alongs on there. But I'm bringing it to YouTube this season as well. So
Now, what
Oh, right,
can you
okay.
tell us about Pierre Esposito then?
Okay. Not a lot.
Well, they had him loaned out to Calcio last year.
Yeah.
17 and 35 in Serie B.
ain't bad.
Does Esposito mean slow?
No, I don't. Listen, I struggle to speak bloody English. Never mind understand all this foreign stuff.
No,
Anyway.
Adagio is slow, isn't it? That's me classical music training coming out.
It's Italian,
Oh,
isn't
there
it,
you
or-
go.
Yes.
Adagio. Right then, that's it. Thanks everybody. Thank you again, all the panel. And like I say, thanks for all the super chats and the memberships to everybody out there. We'll be here bright and early tomorrow morning, 9:10 for Eddie Howe's presser. So again, until then, it's a goodbye from them over there.
And it's a goodbye from him over there. And how are the lads?
Lassies and bairns. Take care all. Up
Ciao
there
now.
to-
Yeah.